Alright. Real YouTubers record this after construction was happening while I played this game. Alright, we'll get on to the video and then I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I guess I'll walk you through it. Alright now, video. Alright, hello there. It is voiceover Adam now. It is not actual Adam. Look at me go. I just thought I would walk you through the team because the recording doesn't actually start until like I'm in the game. So I just thought I'd show you what's going on. Alright, it sounds like the construction vehicles have actually left the street now and you can't hear them cracking on. So every week I want to kind of have a meme I do like in regards to the team. So, week one I had, there was no meme, it was just week one. Week two I was the meme, I dressed up and that sort of thing. Week three I nicknamed them all funny things. This week they have fancy like tags on them. So this is the team. I actually have a Frisk, Black Glasses, Terror Dark Grimmsnarl here. Essentially, Liliana has Serena, and therefore it's not that great. And I could have run two moves with screens, but in being honest with people, this was just funnier, right? This was just funnier. And so we had Grimmsnarl with Frisk, Spirit Break, Fake Out, Sucker Punch, and Assurance. Assurance does so much damage. And its name is Grimmsnarl the Reliable Partner. There he is. Rabsca is here, it's Terra Psychic. Revival Blessing, Trick Room, Bug Buzz, and Psychic. Bug Buzz and Psychic as stabs actually deal crazy amounts of damage. And Revival Blessing is for the second mode, which I planned to use. Essentially, I'll explain that after. This is Rabsca the Opportunist. Because I thought that, Rabsca takes opportunities to revive back its partners. Look at me go. Here we have a Cryogonal, Icy Wind, Flash Cannon, Ice Beam, Terra Blast. I should mention this Cryogonal is Ice Specs with Terra Psychic, and obviously the Rabsca was Focus Sashed. It's Cryogonal the Shivering, which I did have to go to the forums about and ask, hey, why does this not work, and get it fixed. Good fun. Sudowoodo the Arrogant. I almost nicknamed this Phil Swift, because I was going to say that Phil Swift is back because he's arrogant that he lost and that he should have won, haha. It's the exact same set, I just changed Fire Punch out for Ice Punch, just because coverage. Qfant is here. Qfant is mainly here for two reasons. One is a Jigglypuff check, and the other one is just as mandatory drafting rule. Mandatory drafting rule. I was really worried that I'm never going to use Qfant ever, and I looked a little bit ahead, and I'm like, actually, this is my best week to use Qfant ever. And so it's either drop it in free agency or use it now. So Qfant had Eviolite, it had Sheer Force. It was Qfant the Chipper, because he looks all cute and happy. I'll tell you now, the Qfant didn't come. It got its drafting and it's done. And we have Staraptor here. Staraptor is Terra Fighting, Clear Amulet to stop, it was Speed Drops I was worried about. Speed Drops and Attack Drops from Tauros. Hilariously, it's actually Reckless, because I thought that the only thing on Lily's team which I would be intimidating would be Tauros and Serena, which should both be dead from Brave Bird. And so there's that. And then we have Staraptor the Rampaging, because this thing's going to deal a lot of damage. I will get on to the video. Okay, so I'm going to use this time where the screen is not doing anything, which is actually because right now I'm actually in the bathroom before my match. And just to explain what the plan was, because I just realized that I didn't actually explain the plan. It is either Grim plus Rabsca lead, and then fake out Trick Room, and then have Sudowoodo in the back, and then put Staraptor in the back afterwards, so when Trick Room ends. Grim is actually quite slow itself, and so acts as a Trick Room sweeper. So there'd be 3 Trick Room sweepers, and then you'd have, Staraptor outside of. The other game plan was to run Staraptor and Cryogonal next to each other, and put Rabska in the back. Those two are just super frail and super offensive, so they'd take some kills, probably die. Rabska would revival blessing one of them, and then bring it back, and it would do more damage, and then Grimmsnarl would be in the back for, like, just late game. I'd use it as, like, a King Gambit, essentially. Just, like, late game, Terror Dark, Sucker Punch, everything, right? That was the idea. And just so I can sync up the audio myself, the preparations complete button is being clicked now. Lovely. So, something I should point out here is that I was terrified of Mudsdale, like terrified of it, and it's not here. Serena is, which is something to note, but yeah, it was just the Mudsdale not being here was wild to me. The Tauros not being here either in hindsight was crazy. I am spending this time kind of just thinking about it, I believe. Eventually, I'll get my wits about me and we'll decide just to go with the main mode because there is no Mudsdale. My Trick Room mode is now the best modes of speed. Like I said, this was game plan number 1. I'd like to point out in the downtime that on the preseason show, Crimp said that Coquavo was amazing, and that Kid said that Skeledoge was amazing, and that was the reason they both picked me, and neither of them came. Look at me go. Maybe they should have. Masquerain Serena comes out. This is great if I was to lead, something strong. I didn't, however, so now this Serena is stopping me from doing fake out stuff, which I haven't quite realized is a bad thing. I find the Sash and I find the Cobra Berry. Later, I'll remember this, but, it doesn't really matter. I'm making kind of a ballsy play here. I'm like, well, realistically, what am I gonna do? I don't like any of the Grimmsnarl's 4 moves, so I can just hard swap into Sudowoodo, and then just set Trick Room. I have a belief that Masquerain Serena can't kill my Rabska. I will find out very quickly, though, as 1 Grandma, 2 Grandma, there's a 3rd Grandma. Look at her go. Serena goes for Play Rough, does nothing. So the switch was smart on my behalf. Masquerain comes out with Whirlwind. That's Lily's attack this week. So Rabska comes out. Not Rabska, Rabska leaves. I am so lucky that that's Staraptor. Because if it's Grimmsnarl, this game becomes way harder than it was. At this point, you see I am debating, okay, cool, I can head smash the Masquerain, and then I go to click Brave Bird, and I remember, wait a second, I've seen this thing's items. Would it not be better for me to, Ice Punch the Serena, which is what I lock into here, and then Brave Bird the Masquerain? However, I actually double back out on myself. I say, look, no, I get it, right? I've seen Masquerain as Sash, so Ice Punch is always the safest. And I have this feeling that Brave Bird Reckless just kills anyway. So I'm well aware that I've seen it already. I'm going for it here. I'd like you to know that crit does matter. Serena lives without it. It's a very bulky Serena. If it was just the Jolly natural set, Staraptor would have just killed, but that's just something for me to know. So my assumption was correct, but it was bulky and the crit mattered. I bring it down to Sash, which is awesome. Super loses some HP. I don't get a freeze. I remember thinking in the moment, I could get a freeze here, don't get a freeze. I also have noticed that Tailwind is now up. And out comes Rotom, and now this is where the game can get really, really messy. Head Smash, for very obvious reasons, is just very, very good into Rotom. I forget I play here. I think I do just Head Smash, right? Yeah, I just Head Smash and... Oh, I Head Smash and Switch. That's actually really smart, yeah. Head Smash and Switch. Oh, because Rotom can just kill Staraptor and I need Staraptor alive. That's my thought process here, right? Rabska's just setting Trick Room isn't going to do anything to help anyone. And I need Staraptor alive. I also find out the leftovers, which is really quite nice. Hurricane comes out and I dodge it. T-Bolt comes out into the Grimmsnarl, so I made the right switch there, which is really quite nice. And Sudowoodo the Arrogant actually connects it this time. The one time he needed to. Look at him go. That could have been interesting if that was a charty berry, but it wasn't, and so therefore it's pretty nice. So yeah, the switch of Staraptor was defensive to cover the Thunderbolt, and now I've got Fake Out, which is really nice. And you'll see me actually debate around here on what order I want to do this in. I actually think in a second I go and check attack stats. So I'm like, alright, cool, which is the more damage into Hydreigon? Spoiler alert, Grimmsnarl's attack stat is actually higher than Sudowoodo's. But I think I just, like, I think I ignore that. I do, I just ignore that and say, no, I've got the free Fake Out into Masquerain, which is a kill, right? Which is actually also pretty good, because had I gone for Spirit Break into the Hydreigon, it would have been not very effective, because this is a Terra Poison Hydreigon. Look at it go. Terra Poison Mudsdale was something I was pretty scared of. Like, when I say pretty scared, I mean it terrified me to no end. Terra Steel Mudsdale could have also come, but I had ways of beating it. Terra Fire Mudsdale was the same, but again, I had ways of beating it. Terra Blast will come out. I thought this thing got Sludge Bomb or Sludge Wave, apparently not. It is the Grimmsnarl. He has served us well. At which point, again, that Ice Punch does shockingly little to me. At this point, one, I want to say my heart is beating through my chest. I don't know why, I just felt like I could lose. I decide going on the offense is kind of smarter, given that I have the sash in the back. Yeah, I go for Ice Punch just because it's guaranteed damage. There's no point in missing. I'll go for Brave Bird again just because there's no point. There is one turn of Tailwind left. Yes, this isn't... I forgot it now, even in post. Yeah, so I went to make the attack, and then I went, hold on, he has Tailwind, and this is... Oh, she has Tailwind, it's the way I lose. And so we just double protect. I love that I forgot that, even in post. It's good fun. Hydreigon goes for Dark Pulse. That probably would have killed my Staraptor, and then... Yeah, it would have been killed the Staraptor, and then if he got a flinch onto Rapska, it's a lose situation. But I was smart. I've played a lot of VGC games today, and therefore I think it just kind of paid off. And I just go for Brave Bird. The reason you see me checking, by the way, if moves are effective or not, is because, as you could see there, it said that Brave Bird was super effective. Because for some reason, the bloody type weakness thing, helper, keeps alive the opponent who was dead next to it. And so when it says, like, oh, this is, you know, super effective, this is not very effective, I just want to check that's actually true. Because sometimes it's not, which is great times. So now at this point, I get saved, like, in between sets, by having notes. At this point, I'm writing down all the kills and that sort of stuff, which I've missed, because at the end of the game, I just stopped recording them for some reason. Which you'll see here. This is, Lily is taking a while to select her team. I don't really know what she was doing. But I think to myself that I really like, into the lead which was led against me, Cryogonal and Staraptor just, like, auto-wins. Like, it just super auto-wins. Because I could just, like, Icy Wind, I forget what the idea was, but I knew it could auto-win. You'll see me click in here. But then, by having notes, I see that Haunter and Frostlass haven't come out yet. And I think that Cryogonal and Staraptor just lose to that exact lead. I don't know what they're going to do, because I've seen, as you saw, that the sash is on Masquerain, and so it's not on either of those two. And I kind of think I can just run it back. Can I not? Because the good thing about Haunter and Frostlass is they're both weak to Dark, and Grimmsnarl, boy does he have that. And you know the other good thing about Haunter and... what I keep forgetting its name. Haunter and Frostlass. The other good thing is that they're here. And so in between me looking at notes and making a call that Lily loves to do that, she'll like not bring her game 2 plan at all in game 1. And the Frisk, I see it's double choice items. I am led here into a bit of false sense of security. I think, well, it's 2 choice items. I have guaranteed OHKO with Sucker Punch because you have to hit it, use a move. And then Frostless will be dead, and then I can just set guaranteed Trick Room. What I don't account for, however, after Grimmsnarl's gonna go all fancy on us. Look at him. Look at how big and strong he is. I'd also like to point out that there's 2 of those same girls were right next to each other at that point. It fails. And at this point, I'm kind of confused what's going on. It's fake tears into Rabska. This makes sense because you haven't seen my item, and so, like, it being a Ghost Resist Berry kind of makes sense. However, that turn 1 is very indicative of how this entire game is going to go. This is going to be frustrating to watch back, if I'm being honest. Because I say, alright, cool, so now Frostlass is locked into that move, so Haunter has to click a move, right? And then I can just click any move into the Frostlass slot, and it won't matter. I would like to point out that in a practice game, I did exactly this. I said, it doesn't matter what move I click, because I said in that situation Rabska was dead. And it turned out, once again, that it really did. Because, again, I'm such an idiot for doing this. Because if I click Bug Buzz here, that Hydreigon is dead. Sucker Punch obviously fails because Rotom is, now on the field. And Psychic comes out. And does nothing to Hydreigon. At this point, I think she might think that I'm Choice Banded, which is really, really good information for me I think that she thinks that if she just does, Tailwind Will-O-Wisp, I can't hurt her, which is kind of true. However, you'll see here, I actually leave the Hydreigon alone. I forget the reasoning for it. And I actually say that I'm going to double into this Rotom slot with Psychic and Assurance. Nothing on her entire team with maximum bulk ever lives a hit of, move plus Assurance, Terra Dark. It's just not a thing. Terra Poison comes out on the Hydreigon. I believe it protects me. Am I correct? It does not. I forget what it does. So Psychic comes out, does the Carp, which is great. And Assurance comes out, again, even if this was Citrus Berry, which it probably should have been in hindsight, Rotom is dead. Oh yeah, Lily comes out with Snarl here, which is actually kind of good. Gets the kill into Rabska. And at this point, it's still Trick Room, so I'm bringing Sudowoodo out for very obvious reasons. But as Sudowoodo would say, being arrogant, I am now the arrogant one at this point. This is the most obvious thing in the world which is about to happen, and I just refuse to accept it. So I Sucker Punch into the Haunter. I want you to guess now what's going to happen to that Haunter slot. And I consider myself, do I want to click another Head Smash? Sudowoodo he's hit one, that's all he needs to do with his life. And I look, I'm like, if it's 85 accuracy, I said I'd click it, but 80, I'm not about it. So Haunter switches, and at this point, I've had enough. I'm fed up. I'm like, God damn it. This Grimmsnarl at this point, with Sucker Punches, has done absolutely nothing. He has 3 Sucker Punches and they've all failed. Ice Punch comes out and it does unholy little amounts of damage. And I think Lily actually throws it. Because if that Draco Meteor goes into the Grimmsnarl slot and the Grimmsnarl dies, I just lose. Because I'm pretty sure I just lose. Because as we saw, it would require me to hit a Head Smash into Frostless. That's what it would require. There's one turn of Trick Room left, so yeah, if Sudowoodo was alive, it'd be Head Smash Frostless, and then damaging move into Hydreigon. Oh no, and Protect, sorry. At this point, I'm actually running a calc. I know that my Staraptor is Jolly Max speed, and I forget if Hydreigon is 98 speed or if it's 102. It is 98. So I go for Assurance into the Frostlass now because I'm fed up and tired of these bloody mons not clicking damaging moves. And I did find out afterwards it was clicking Fake Tears again, so if I click Sucker Punch, I would have lost. I get Protect off, which is amazing, and Assurance comes out. The good thing about Frostlass is it's not very strong, and so it's dead. Curse Body activates, but at this point, I don't really care about that. Curse Body activating on Sucker Punch would have been game-ending, but otherwise not. So yeah, I was kind of gifted this game a little bit of, again, Dragon Meteor goes into the Hydreigon, I then have an 80% chance to win, which is, it's not fun. Because at this point, I don't even know if I do, because a Dark Pulse probably just kills Staraptor, and I would need to, yeah, I've got no clue if I would even win or not. Sucker Punch goes into Haunter, that's the end of that. And Dragon does not like taking a Brave Bird. Nothing really does. And so, ladies and gentlemen, after 4 weeks of me complaining Skeledirge is absolutely dogshit, I've realized the answer. I just don't bring Skeledirge, and I win. It's simple.